The Jameson family kept a log of the distance they traveled during a trip, as represented by the graph below. During which interval was their average speed the greatest? Average speed is just another way to say rate of change. Rate of change is a rate that describes how one quantity changes, like how much distance they cover, in relation to another quantity over a certain amount of time. Okay, so we'll get back to that definition, but for now, we're just going to take a look and see that we're given coordinates. Every x coordinate, right? We know that coordinates come as x comma y. Every x coordinate represents time, and every y coordinate represents the distance, the amount that they traveled. Okay, so we can start taking a look and see when they traveled most. You might notice this right away looks the steepest, but you'll see soon that it's a little bit of a trick question. So if we just take a look and we subtract 110 minus 40, we see that we went 70 miles. 180 minus 110, that's also 70 miles. 230 minus 180, that's 50. 350 minus 230, that's 120 miles, and 390 minus 350 is 40 miles. So certainly you would think that 120 is the biggest jump that we see. However, if we go back to the definition, we need to see how one quantity changes, which is all we did. We checked how the distance changes, but in relation to another quantity, you have to pay attention to how much time has passed. If we do that, we would notice that for the most part, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, we've been going by 2 hours at a time. So really, all of these rates should be divided by 2, right? We did 70 miles, but over a span of 2 hours, 50 miles over 2 hours, and so on. If we divide these out by 2 to get our miles per hour, 70 by 2 is really only 35. 50 by 2, really only 25. Even this big number that looked so impressive before is only 60. And 40 by 2 is 20. So at this point, if we're trying to look for the biggest rate or the greatest speed, the number we should be looking at is 70, because from hour 1 to hour 2, only 1 hour has passed. So it's 70 divided by 1, or 70 miles per hour. So the greatest average speed, or the greatest rate of change, is the first to the second hour. And again, it relates to the definition of rate of change because it all depends on how much time has passed. Even this big jump over here of 120, 2 hours have passed, so you have to divide 120 by 2 to get your actual rate per hour. Whereas from hour 1 to hour 2, we went a full 70 miles per hour, which is the biggest number we see here.